Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. So, how have you all been? I hope you all are doing great and your journey of preparing for the design entrance exams are going on well. So, let's start with today's session. So, a lot of times students have come up with certain questions, especially students who are preparing for masters, right? They always ask the question that how do we get inspired to create an innovative product, right? So something of that sort. Today we are going to answer those questions. Also, we have picked up certain points of inspiration. There can be more to it. We will be adding more videos to this particular series where we are talking about different inspiration that can lead to amazing design. So let's get started. So how to start looking for inspiration everywhere? Everywhere, anywhere and everywhere you get inspiration. You just have to be observant. So in the life of a design student or a designer, we do have a lot of projects coming up, right? Projects bring a little bit of anxiety. They bring in deadline. Your client, your faculties are looking for good results, are looking for what sort of ideas are you coming up with. This particular anxiety, somewhere or the other, I believe, strikes off with a lot of creativity. So let's see this anxiety of coming up with a good design. And the good news is inspiration is everywhere. One thing I always tell my students is to start with looking at a lot of visuals, looking at motion pictures, movies, read novels. The more click pictures, get into photography, click pictures and see what sort of images are you coming up with. Maybe they'll inspire you in some way or the other. So let's look at this image right there on our screen. I have taken this up from a Instagram handle of a industrial designer, and here you can see that a simple house cat is an inspiration for a car design. Wow, who must have thought looking at a cat or a dog or a cute little animal that it can be inspiration for something so different? But here it is. We will be talking about it more, but let's get started. Let's see what do we have further. In this video, we will cover various techniques around how to get inspiration from various sources and how to apply them to your own design work. One key point to remember is borrowing from different sources. Okay, your sources needs to be absolutely different and unique. Now imagine that everybody is going on to Pinterest or to a specific site and looking for inspiration. I'm sorry to say, but everybody will end up with the same sort of design. So the idea is, the key is to look for unconventional sources. All of you are unique in your own terms, and I'm sure you all can come up with different um, sources from where you can look for inspiration. One of the major source for design inspiration, whether it is product, industrial, fashion, graphic, etc., are movies. I think they are amazing for your brainstorming session. So next time when your parents are asking you not to watch movie, to shut the shut Netflix and go to study, please tell that it is something important in terms of your design ideas and inspiration. But yeah, do take inspiration. Don't just give an excuse and fool them. Okay. So let's talk about cinematography. So cinematography is the way to tell stories visually in movies, right? Visual analogy are created through cinematography. The kind of cinematography you see sets in the mood of the whole movie and tells a story in its own way, right? Lot of product designers tell a story visually. Same is true for product designer and industrial designer. For them, The product is like a canvas. They are creating their story through the canvas that they have, which is a product. Let's see some examples in the. Can you see this? This is a still from a movie. So what sort of a visual analogy do you get? Are you having a very cramped up feeling by looking at it? Are you claustrophobic? Do you see that the focus is right there in the middle, right? There is loneliness. So you can form n number of analogies by looking at any particular visual. Now, it's not always all the visuals, and I'm not saying that every movie or every whatever you're seeing, motion pictures or you're watching will have certain inspiration, but it depends from individual to individual. And I have created these presentations for you by looking at the work of different designers around the world, right? So what they have been doing and from where they have been picking up their inspiration. So these are the reflection of some of the very good industrial designers around the world. Here we have a movie scene of, another movie scene. Now, what is the visual analogy that you see over here? So, can you see there are these bars, the vertical lines? So, the picturization has been done from behind those bars. To it is a office scene, and definitely you can get a feel of a tensed situation, right? A very cramped up place, a tensed situation, and these vertical lines show the trap, how the character is trapped over there, is tensed. It almost symbolizes like a prison cell, right? So the same movie, from the same movie, there is another visual over here. So here, it is a top view of one of the scene. So everything is covered with snow. We are looking at the car. This is the car, and this is the character. So the character that we saw over here, his loneliness, his tensed situation is being transcended over here. The white color, the snow, somewhere shows the absence of a lot of emotion, absence of warmth, right? And the person is alone. It's a top view. It's a top view which is showing that how small the individual is as compared to the surrounding. All these elements are placed away from each other, and this person is walking towards the car. So now these particular scene were an inspiration by a particular designer for these products. So what do we see over here? So we see a starking contrast and a focal point which is being created over here, right? And we see the same focal points over here as well. So there is contrast in color. There is a focal point or emphasis, and how the element is moving towards the focal point. So here the element is moving towards the focal point, and over here also you see a visual depiction that the main element is here, and you have the other elements which seem to be moving towards the main element. There is hierarchy, and the black spot on the white canvas. This is the black spot on the white canvas. They are trying to show it in terms of the product, right? So you can see how a particular image, how the elements have been taken from a movie scene and have been transcended into a particular product, right? And this can be done, all the students can do this. So for example, if we are looking at a phone, when we are looking at a phone, what do we see? We see certain elements. right? The element could be here, the element could be here. So the designer must have thought about putting those elements in a specific manner, right? So there is a lot of thought process that is going on. So look for those elements around you, whatever you like. I keep telling my students that when you're watching a movie, it can be an animated movie, it can be a sci-fi movie, or anything, any fictional movie. If you like a frame, watch it frame by frame, like a painting, like you're watching it like a painting, right? And if you like something, pause it and maybe take a screenshot. Keep it for your future reference. One very good movie for such sort of inspiration is an Indian movie, which is Tumbar, right? So when you're watching it, see how the characters, right? How characters are interacting with their surrounding. So when you see the main character walking by, passing by, you see a vast field that shows the emptiness. So those are the visual analogies that I'm talking about, and that can be easily transcended into any particular product. So the next inspiration in terms of cinematography is frame within a frame, right? So what is frame within a frame? Where it is to create an emphasis when we are trying to focus on something in particular, right? So it is being picturized in a way that there are certain frames are forming, right? Anything which is outside the frame, you have a very clear demarcation of it, right? It creates focus and emphasis, and to separate different elements in a particular shot. So the same thing we are seeing in this particular designer, Dieter Rams, right? Who is a German designer who is most closely associated with the consumer product company Braun. Please do read about this particular industrial designer. He's a very prolific designer and had come up with a lot of products which have been very, very famous. So, do you notice something over here? So, all the important elements have been put in a specific frame, right? All of these components. So there is certain importance of this area. It has been framed. A particular frame has been given to it. Over here, it has been framed, right? This is also creating a visual effect of a frame, right? So it shows that the importance. Notice how he separates each of the components to a specific frame. He is treating his product as a canvas for compositional work and design. Again, Gestalt principle. You must have learned about Gestalt principle. He is also a German psychologist. Even he had a similar theory where he would say he had a theory of common fate or common ground, which says that things which are common, which are of similar importance, are always put under one particular frame. Then another source of inspiration is gesture drawing. Okay. Now what is gesture drawing? Most of you students, I have been asking all of you to do a lot of human figure sketches, quick sketches, right? Quick sketches of animals, quick sketches of human beings, different poses, everything. So a lot of times students, they ask me, why is it important to do it? So the whole idea is, whenever you are sketching something, you are not just supposed to blindly copy something, right? Do not, design is not about just blindly copying something, that there is a leaf, so let me just blindly copy it and just draw it beautifully. That's not your aim. Your aim is to understand and maybe get inspired by it. So the first step is when you start understanding where the tension is, how the lines are flowing, what are the attributes. That's how you start getting ideas. And the same, this particular technique is also opted by a lot of product designers. They try to get inspired by the movement of the human body, or anything, any particular thing, like a tree moving because of wind, okay, a girl dancing, an animal running. So they try and understand the gesture, and where and how the balance is being created, or how a stress or a tension is being created through that particular gesture. So when you understand certain areas of tension or form in the body directly relate to how to create tension and balance in a particular product as well. So when you are looking at a particular image, or you had sketched a particular human figure and made a particular gesture, so your mind starts working on the movement, how the how one form is joined with another. Like, this is a form, we are looking at it like a form, your hands are form, and how it is moving or how it is connected with another form. So again, translating that into a particular product, okay, how the connectivity and joints are behaving. This is also an important part. The basics are finding movement that connects different part of a form. Gestural movement can be seen everywhere, okay, and it can be seen in everything, whether it's a leaf which is attached to a branch, or animals, right? In fact, animals are a very great source of inspiration. Animals, birds, um, underwater creatures, these are a great source of inspiration. In fact, it's a separate study itself, and as you know, it's called biomimicry. We are not talking about it today. We are talking about very unconventional sources from where we can take inspiration. Like, we spoke about the movie frames, or from different cinematographic point of view, right? From the point of view of framing different spaces, right? And then gestures. So these are some of the unconventional way of taking inspiration. There are direct ways also to take inspiration. Like, you take a flower, a rose flower, and you directly get inspired by it, right? But how do we step further in our quality of work? Because by looking at things around you and by getting inspiration from around. So the inspiration could be there in somebody's the lines of the palm, or maybe texture of the skin, right? So, or maybe the texture of the carpet that I'm seeing over here, even that could be an inspiration. But you have to be very specific, and you can only get inspired when you have a particular problem in your mind. The problem is that you have to come up with a product or a graphic or an idea, right, for your upcoming project. That is when your mind starts working, right? So here we are back with this cute little house cat, image of a cat. Now, who must have thought that the designer quickly, when they are looking at it, they thought of, okay, this can be converted into a car. And you can see these construction lines of basic car structure, right? So in fact, this has been taken from an Instagram handle of a particular designer, right? The cat image inspires the form of a car, okay? The long lines, this is the car, something similar, right? So the long lines of the car, that shows aggression, right? It shows aggression. It mimics the predatory, the nature of the predatory animal who's just preparing to pounce on its prey, right? So we see a lot of movement, we see a lot of character, and the designer got inspired from here because cat is a predator, right? Instincts are that it would be aggressive when it sees its prey. So the kind of stance they take, the kind of muscle movement they have, they might inspire people to come up with different products. Okay, so this is a image of a sports car where the designer got inspired by an house cat, right? So I think this is pretty interesting in terms of how two unrelated things can be related, right? So you will not generally think of your inspiration, a car inspiration coming out from a house cat, right? Or a cheetah. Cheetah maybe you can get inspired because there is similarity in terms of speed, swiftness, sleekness, right? But the whole idea is that yes, you can get inspired by anything and everything. Start taking notes, start clicking pictures, anything that you like. Maybe while you are moving in a busy street, try to click pictures from different angle. Look at it and see what sort of story is it telling. Are those elements that you see in the picture, do they make any sense? Do they look aesthetic? That is how you come up with new ideas, with ideas that are absolutely fresh, the ideas that are not copied from somebody, right? Definitely a designer's job is to come up with good ideas and to come up with a nice story that would support the idea. This is something that could be extremely important for students who are preparing for their masters in design and who will be carrying their portfolios. So how to make your portfolio unique? You have to take inspiration from unconventional sources, right? Not always, don't take the conventional path, right? So the idea is to write down all your points, like what are the problems that you are looking at, what sort of solution you think of giving, who is the target audience or who is the target customer for whom you are making a product, specifically product, because today we are talking mostly about product which is tangible. We are not really talking about too much of graphic design or anything, something which is form based. So the product that you are talking about, what sort of solution will it provide to the client? Okay, understand the overall mood of the product and accordingly look for an inspiration. When you're very specific and focused in your head, I'm sure it will be very easy for you all to get ideas, and your ideas can start anytime, right? There is no specific time. It could be anytime you're traveling, you're just going to sleep and something just sparks in your mind. Write it down, write it down, make sketches, do permutation and combination. Keep in mind the elements of design, principles of design, the different theory that deals with visual perception. These are the things that you have to keep in mind. And always come up with simple. First of all, you need to come up with very simple concepts and start adding elements to it. So this is how you will be able to come up with feasible ideas and good ideas and unique ideas. If you have liked this particular video, then do subscribe to our channel, and also if you have more queries about it, kindly get in touch with us at kpclassessexamprep.in, and you can give us a call. The phone numbers are written over here, and any queries you can just maybe post it under this particular video. I will be coming up with more of these sort of videos where we are talking about inspiration. Now please remember, these inspiration which I have been talking about are more visual. They are visual inspiration where you are looking at a movie, you are looking at a image, you are looking at an animal. But there are abstract inspirations as well. So I'm thinking in my next video, I will be coming up with abstract inspiration. That abstract inspiration could be a particular smell, a particular music, a particular kind of a sound of an animal. So I'm still working on it, right? And I will be adding more to these series of inspiration for object drawing, and I hope it will be very helpful for the students who are thinking of preparing for the design entrance exam, whether for NIFT, NID, and CEED. Definitely, it can also help you for your portfolios as well, as I discussed with you. So I'll see you in the next video. And until then, thank you so much and have a happy learning.